Hello viewers. Another beautiful day. Yeah. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good or excellent. What? So you can play you can play solitaire now on the Game Boy Advance. Listen to this. Clever coder cram a solitaire game onto a single Nintendo Game Boy Advance e-reader card. It says Nintendo Game Boy Advance e-reader was used to read levels of other extra for Game Boy games via swipe. Then it says independent developer Matt Greer has published a blog post on YouTube video highlighting his achievement of building an entire solitaire onto a single custom Nintendo e-reader card. The card features just two dot strips, contain two 192 byte each, totaling just over 4.3 kilobytes of data. The Nintendo e-reader is peripherals originally developed on release for the Game Boy Advance in December 2021 Japan and 2000 United States, allowing the full of an expansion to exist the Game Boy Advance games to read from scannable card and save to the e-reader. Comparatively, it says whopping 8 megabytes of onboard storage. Some e-reader titles, particularly NES ports, use as many as 10 cards, while the e-reader could have support up to 12, and things like extra Super Mario Advance levels requires just one. It says the full blog post attached to Solitaire e-reader projects contain a significant amount of detail on development of this homebrew solitaire game, playable within perhaps the most severe technical restriction available to Game Boy Advance games. Homebrew Game Boy Advance games are already impressive niche, but a single e-reader card homebrew solitaire Game Boy Advance game is impressively nice to point out of near absurdity. Then it says, per the original blog post, the e-reader supports the loading of NES games raw binaries, even Zilog Z8 binaries. The Z80 assembly is low footprint, being most advantageous for this project. Nintendo e-reader applications have an additional benefit of being able to use an e-reader API that allows numerous common tasks to be called from the e-reader instead of needing to be repeated in dot strip code, allowing for further space saving. And it says here, the original pass also notes that the Z80 emulator used with the Nintendo e-reader isn't 100% accurate and uses limited amount of opcodes and registers. This means things normally possible on a Z8 simply aren't on the restricted e-reader setup. Nevertheless, Matt Greer was still able to use these restrictions to create a full game of solitaire, including changeable music within the limitations of 4,384 bytes across two dot strips on a single custom Nintendo e-card reader. It's impressive just how much a homebrew developer was able to achieve. It's unfortunate that actual e-reader cards were made for such short period, and the Nintendo e-reader is most lost to time as a result. Well, that shows that the homebrew modding community, they love to experiment with stuff to see what they can do, and they were able to pull this off. There's a YouTube video here, so I'll leave the link in the description box so you can see the video for yourself. But anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy though. Nice talking to you people again. Crystal, Star Wars, Star Trek, Borg, Dark Side. Go home. Peace.